If you're working in a corporate organization, you probably have attended numerous trainings or seminars that teaches you different methodologies, processes, structures on achieving goals, outcomes, and all those sort of things, right? These processes and structures are good. The one thing that if you are having difficulty in terms of executing them, especially in the micro day-to-day objective, now here is one thing that I really want to actually help you out with a real simple process that we teach a lot of corporate employees, managers, directors, and C-levels to really zoom into very specific focus as they navigate through, right, the challenges on a day-to-day basis. All right, sounds cool? Now here is one thing that I want you to think about for any challenges or goals that you are working on right now, where your work is concerned. Now let's just for example, if in the middle of a day there is something that comes to your mind that you need to troubleshoot there and there, right? And that's very normal for corporate. Well, then the first thing that I want you to think about real quick is really this like 3-step process. All right, and I'm going to draw this thing on the board over here in this way. All right, the very first thing that I would like you to really think about exactly is that whatever challenges, projects, or goals that comes onto your plate, all right, the first thing to think about is that what is your outcome for that specific task. Now, your employees probably is going to knock onto your door and come to your office and come to you with all the work challenges, or maybe you are going to be opening up an email and you read through a ton of emails that's going to give you, what are emails basically? A ton of issues to troubleshoot, right? Now, here is the thing is that remember that for any task, whether is it going to be a very micro or very macro task, we got to know exactly what is our outcome. For example, when an employee is going to come to me and talk about an issue, I'm going to tell myself, what is the outcome that I want to achieve in this conversation with him? Am I trying to get him out of the situation, or am I trying to give him a solution there and there on the spot, all right, so that he can actually move on with his next immediate task? So here is the thing about this outcome is that we got to be very clear about what we want to achieve before we even think about anything else. And the next thing is really about, like, it's still the same person over here, like, where are we right now? All right, as in, what kind of situation we are in right now when we are facing like the specific challenge and working towards our outcome. What kind of resources do we have right now? What kind of time constraint, and if we have any time constraint currently, or any resources constraint. So we got to be very clear about what are the things that we have and we don't have right now. All right. Now here is a very interesting thing is that most people will be thinking about their right now first as compared to the outcome. But here is the thing, I personally think that it's a lot more effective if we reverse the thinking process, right? For example, if we're going to be thinking about the outcome first, it's going to be a lot more better, more specific as compared to when we think about the outcome later. And now here's the reason. If you're going to think about the now first, you're going to think about, I don't have the resources, I don't have the time, all these things are on my plate. All right, what is my outcome? Now, you see what I mean? The logical thinking process and the emotional state that you're going to bring into this thinking process, right, is going to be contaminated by your current burden and your weight on your shoulder. So it's always a lot better when we think about what is the outcome and then think about where are we right now. This is going to be a lot more neutral and a lot more objective. And obviously when we have this, the third thing is to think about real quick, right, how are we going to achieve this outcome? So it's a very systematic 3-step process that you can actually teach your employees to think about how to actually navigate through the entire day by just very quickly thinking about, for any task that comes to them, what is my outcome, where am I right now, and let's think about how to achieve it. All right. So normally when we have 1 and we have 2, you know what? The 3 comes very naturally to our mind. But one common mistake of what most people will fall into is that for any specific issues or task that comes to them, the very first thing that they thought about is how. That should really be the last thing to think about. Now, I guarantee, I can promise you that your work challenges on a day-to-day basis is going to be a lot more easier to go through when you go through this 3-step process. All right, guys, so I hope you like this, and I hope that you can actually bring this very same process that I personally use. I teach a lot of students around the world and teach it to your employees, teach it to your colleagues, and then you're going to have a lot more productivity ahead on a day-to-day basis. All right.